Hello everyone. Today we will be focusing on the ethnic group the Amerindians. We are the members of Group 6. Our group members are Omowati Dudnat, Zanjabila Bacchus, Romario Blair, Sarika Dianarine, and Divya Raman. The Amerindians. The Amerindians are the indigenous or native people of Guyana. This means they were the first to arrive in Guyana. When they arrived, they first gave it the name Guyana, meaning land of many waters. The Amerindians came from the continent of Asia. They came from countries such as Mongolia. They walked across the Bering Strait, which was a frozen bridge, through North America, Central America, then into South America. The Amerindians left Asia during the Fourth Ice Age, fleeing from the cold and following herds of buffalo and other animals for food. In total, 9 Amerindian tribes settled in Guyana, including 4 main tribes: the Arawaks, Waraos, Wapishiana, and Caribs. The other 5 sub-tribes are the Aricunas, Patamonas, Akawayos, Waiwai, and the Makushi. The Arawaks were the first tribe to settle, then the Caribs. The head of these Amerindian tribes was called the chiefs or captain or the Tushog.
Indigenous people attire.
Hello, today we'll be talking about the traditional wear of the indigenous people. Indigenous people from around the globe have always made clothing from the materials provided by the natural environment. However, in modernization, they have moved away from traditional attire and opted to wear more contemporary clothing. Amerindians, traditionally their mode of dress: for the men, they wore loincloth, and the women wore aprons that is either made of cotton, tibisiri fiber, or beads. Their colorful headdresses, along with leg bands, necklaces, ear and nose decorations, complement their mode of dress. Most people wore clothing made from the tanned or chamois skins of local animals such as deer, elk, buffalo, moose, wolf, fox, and squirrel. Beads were made from natural stones, precious or not, bone, pearls, shells, and especially porcupine quills. Quills were popular to use as beads because they already had a hole to string them. The Amerindians also used feathers from birds to create their wonderful headdresses.
I'm Zanjabila Bacchus, and I'll be focusing on the food of the Amerindians. The Amerindians' foods are cassava bread, farin, and pepper pot. Their drinks are paiwari and kasiri. The Amerindians' staple food was cassava. They planted sweet and bitter cassava. The Amerindians made several items using cassava. From the cassava, the Amerindians made many byproducts. They used a matapi to separate the juice from the bitter cassava, and they used the remaining cassava, which is called kongate, to make the cassava bread and farin. The juice from the cassava is boiled to make kasri. This kasri is used to make one of Guyana's most popular dish called pepper pot. Pepper pot is made of meat, pepper, and kasri. The kasri preserves the meat in the pepper pot. Another food which the Amerindian use is taso. This is dried meat. The Amerindians also produce drinks such as paiwari and kasiri from cassava. Traditionally, the Amerindian women would chew and ferment the cassava to make paiwari and kasiri. So there we had the food of the Amerindians. My other colleague will tell you about the music of the Amerindians.
My name is Sarika Dianaraine, and I will be dancing on one of the Amerindian song called Matapi. The matapi is a tool which the Amerindians use to make cassava bread.
Da ichiyamoka bamata piyasa kenta wa marita kakro kakro poteta. Da oyuamoka bamata piyasa kenta da marita harwa harwa kudaha tomata pi kento mata pi tomata pi kento mata pi tomata pi kento mata pi tomata pi kento mata pi.
The basic Amerindian spiritual belief was animistic, which means that all objects, even the universe itself, possess personalities, souls, or spirits. Some objects harbor good spirits, while others possess evil spirits. Traditional Amerindian religious beliefs vary, but shamans play a significant role in all of them. The shaman is believed to communicate with the world of spirit in order to detect sorcery and combat evil. The shaman is also a healer and an advisor, the representative of the village to the spiritual world, and sometimes is its political leader as well. Missionary activity to the Amerindians has been intense. As a result, the traditional beliefs and practices of all the Amerindian groups has been modified. Some have even disappeared. Thank you, so I'll now hand you over to my other colleague.
Religion has existed as far back as human history, that is from the beginning. In the case of the Amerindians, it would be wrong to assume that there was just one religion governing the Amerindians. As there were different tribes of Amerindians, so too were there different religions of the Amerindians. Now, since the Carib and the Arawaks were the two main tribes of Amerindians within the Caribbean and in Central and South America, we will look at the religion of those two tribes. Now, they did share some similarities in the sense that these two tribes, they worship the things they could see around them, whether it be a rock, the moon, the sun, the ocean. Whatever was around them or beneficial to them, that is what they worshipped and regarded as their religion. Now, both of these tribes had what they refer to as a high god or a supreme god. In the case of the Caribs, this god was referred to as a Kamboi, meaning the carrier of the king. And this was the highest deity or the highest god for the Caribs. The Caribs also had additional deities that they worshipped. They worshipped the moon, for example. And the name of that god, which was assigned to the moon, was Nonuma. And so they also worshipped the sun, apart from the moon. And the sun was referred to as Howiao. And this also occupied an important place in the Carib religion. We'll now take you through the Arawaks, and they also had a high god or a supreme god, and this god was referred to as Lokauna, and they also worshipped the elements or the things that they saw around them.